China's defense ministry has voiced anger and strong opposition to U.S. sanctions imposed on a Chinese military agency and its director. The U.S. said the agency violated the U.S. law by purchasing Russian weapons. The ministry's spokesman Wu Qiang said military cooperation between China and Russia is in line with international law and Washington has no right to intervene. Wu added that the U.S. move is a gross violation of the basic norms of international relations and would do serious damage to relations between militaries of the two countries. The spokesman urged the U.S. to immediately correct its mistake and revoke the sanctions.
Moscow and Beijing lashed out Friday at Washington's new anti-Russian sanctions that also targets China for the first time, warning that the United States could face consequences. The United States is playing with fire, Russia's deputy foreign minister said, while Beijing voiced strong opposition over the move as well. United in their resentment of America's global influence, China and Russia have sought in recent years to tighten up their ties and this month conducted week-long joint military drills, Moscow's largest ever war games. On Thursday, China, which is also locked in a trade war with Washington, got caught up in the sanctions war against Russia as the United States announced a new raft of measures that would punish third countries for dealing with Moscow. Stepping up pressure on Moscow over its activities, the U.S. State Department said it was placing financial sanctions on the Equipment Development Department of the Chinese Ministry of Defense and its top administrator for its recent purchase of Russia Su-35 jets and S-400 surface-to-air missile systems. Beijing on Friday urged the United States to withdraw sanctions or, quote, bear the consequences. The U.S. actions have seriously violated the basic principles of the international relations and seriously damaged the relations between the two countries and the two militaries, said Foreign Ministry spokesman, adding that Beijing had lodged an official protest with the United Nations. We strongly urge the U.S. to immediately correct their mistake and withdraw their so-called sanctions. U.S. officials said it was the first time a third country has been punished under the CAA-TSA sanctions legislation for dealing with Russia, signaling Donald Trump's administration will risk relations with other countries in its campaign against Moscow. Now, Moscow said Washington was rocking global stability and said sarcastically that placing sanctions on Russia has become Washington's favorite pastime. Now, it would be good for them to remember that there is no such concept as global stability, which they are thoughtlessly undermining by whipping up tensions in Russian-American ties, said the Russian foreign minister. Playing with fire is silly, and it can become dangerous, he said in a statement. Now, the two countries will launch new tariffs on Monday, with Washington targeting $200 billion in Chinese exports and Beijing hitting $60 billion worth of American products. What do you think? Could the new sanctions on Russia and China lead to some sort of war?